We should definitely be alarmed that our elected officials are telling the military to remember their oath, but I still don't believe that means we should be scared of the military. Because I promise you, no civilian ever needs to say to a soldier, remember your oath. I promise you, it's actually a little bit shitty when they do it. Because I promise you, everybody who has sworn an oath to serve their country and write a check to America up to and including their lives remembers it. I promise. That being said, the fact that elected officials feel that they have to repeatedly remind soldiers not to follow illegal orders because the president of America is being a tyrant out on Maine, that is scary. That should be very scary. But as I was saying yesterday, if the president was like, we're going to send these soldiers to a firing squad because they didn't obey orders, the most senior members in the military would look at him and say, no, we're not going to do that, sir. Just like when he said, go shoot protesters in the knees, they said, no, we're not going to do that, sir. He's only been able to use the National Guard, and even that is being declared illegal everywhere and being shut down. The military is not going to quickly fall to the tyrant that is Donald Trump. And if they did, we could take them very, very quickly. And please don't come at me about tanks and drones. Number one, I was in charge of the drones for my combat brigade in Afghanistan and wrote a book on them. And number two, we had drones and tanks in Afghanistan and we still lost. If the American military came against the American people, the American military would lose very quickly. I'm actually going to a big veteran protest in DC today, and I'm speaking. And what I'm going to say to them is just a reminder that there are 15 to 18 million of us, veterans, depending on who's counting. There's 2 million people active in the Department of Defense, and that includes civilians. So while civilians might not understand what that means, the military understands what that means. And the government understands what that means. And they know that there's so many more degrees of combat experience outside the military than inside. And that all of us share one area of expertise, which is how to beat the American military with low-tech tactics. So we should be terrified of what our president is doing right now, and the fact that our elected officials feel the need to remind the military to remember their oath. We should not be afraid that the military is going to forget their oath. It's a pretty hard thing to forget. I'm Danielle, a scholar of cults, extreme groups, and extremely bad leadership, former captain in the U.S. Army. I wrote a book called Uncultured about growing up in the Children of God religious cult and then going into the cult of the U.S. Army. You can get signed copies here or listen to me read it to you anywhere you get your audiobooks.